Started out so simply, an attempt to bring the ashes of a beloved grandfather home to Indianapolis. Good evening, I'm Jenna Coy.
And I'm Todd Connor, but it ended with an angry scene in a Florida airport with those ashes spilled on the terminal floor where they would be walked upon and scattered. RTV6 reporter Norman Cox has a local man's emotional story.
The plan seemed simple, put Grandpa's ashes in a container and bring them home, but it sure didn't work out that way. This is Mario Mark Marcoletti, a Sicilian immigrant who worked for the Penn Central Railroad in central Indiana. He died in 2002 at the age of 91, and his family divided up his ashes. Recently, an uncle offered to give Southside resident John Gross part of the ashes while on a trip to Florida. They put them in a tightly sealed jar marked human remains. Gross didn't think he'd have a problem until he ran into a TSA agent at the Orlando airport.
They opened up my bag and I told them, please be careful. These are my grandpa's ashes. She picked up the jar, she opened it up.
Which she wasn't supposed to do.
I was told later on that she had no right to even open it, that they could have used other devices like an x-ray machine. And so she opened it up, she used her finger and was sifting through it, and then she accidentally spilled it.
Gross says about a quarter to a third of the contents spilled on the floor, leaving him frantically trying to gather up as much as he could while anxious passengers waited behind him. And what did the clerk do?
She didn't apologize. She started laughing. I was on my hands and knees picking up bone fragments. You know, I couldn't pick up everything that was lost. I mean, there was a long line behind me.
Obviously, TSA can't replace the ashes, so what does Gross want?
I want an apology. I want an apology from TSA. I want an apology from the lady who opened the jar and laughed at me. I want them to help me understand where they get off treating people like this.
TSA rules say a crematory container and carry-on baggage must pass through the x-ray machine at the security checkpoint. But the agency's own website says the human remains are to be opened under, quote, no circumstances. I'm Norman Cox, RTV6.
A TSA spokesperson told RTV6 that the agency is looking further into the incident and would attempt to pull security camera footage of that Orlando checkpoint to determine just what happened there.